But there isn't the incentive to maximize the number of units they stick on a place of development. That the impact fees go down if you keep the integrity of the area and reduce the impact that we have as people who already live here in the schools.
Sure, rather than impose higher taxes on the people that are already left there after they're gone.
These are things I think we all need to kind of come together and encourage you to put your name on the comp plan, because I think that's where it starts. We can solve the greater problems by thinking of, look at the damage all these things are doing. How do we stop that in the first place? And I think the first step for us is the comp plan. The second step is to go to City Council when they're redoing the ordinances on planning and development and say, we want our comprehensive plan to have teeth. How are you going to do it for us? That's it.
Yeah, that's something that I think it's really important to read the laws, the state laws and the federal laws. When you take a driver's license exam, you've got to read the test and pass it, okay? And you're not going to pass the test unless you know the laws. You're not going to pass a bar exam unless you know the laws. There are laws that are supposed to govern how all of this is done, and these laws are being ignored and trampled because it's a feeding frenzy of public works money and money coming out of the taxpayers' pocket. So this is a public works scam overall, and it includes a lot of this stuff. But read the laws, and like the whistleblower said, now let's see what the law says. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, David, like what Dennis said, Ms. Jones, actually our comp plan, the Rattlesnake plan, does include the term cumulative impacts. And that's one of the things that this state is lacking, is cumulative impact studies. The state of Washington does it. And our comp plan's ahead of its time in that respect. But again, how do you put the heat on local government to start addressing that? Because it's starting to be felt all over the state, and definitely up in this valley here. You can't just keep piling things on top of another and ignoring what's gone on in the past while you're focusing on each new development one at a time.
Just really quickly, if any of you signed up for the comp plan update, there was a meeting simultaneous with this one tonight of the community forum, and at that meeting I had put in a request for at least 25 copies, possibly 40 copies of the comp plan bound for the people who are interested in working on that. So you can read it on your computer, but we'll have them available to you, I think, at that meeting.
Jan, before you go, I knew that I had seen something in the bylaws here, and the preamble does say we will pool our resources and creativity to make this a safe and involved neighborhood. Well, safety usually involves crime, but there is room in this for an environmental health section.
There is, that's
Yes.
true. I agree with you.
Well,
I'd just like to make an announcement before people all get out of here. If other people are interested on our side of the deal, as most of you know, there's also what's called the Mount Jumbo Open Space Advisory Committee. It's a subcommittee of the Open Space Advisory Committees that Dave was here earlier on, and which is under yet another bureaucratic level of the Parks and Rec Department, but also since it does concern Mount Jumbo, that's meeting May 8th. I believe it's at 4. Don't hold me, it could be 4:30, but I think we're meeting at 4 this Monday at the University Center. A couple of I know topics on it this time have to do with overall weed management, which has to do with the sheep that we saw on the mountain last year, and always has to do with, we had the subject earlier, people talking about dogs and other things. If people have not ever heard about it and want to know about that committee, because they have a lot to do with, there is a basically the Mount Jumbo Open Space Advisory, it has a document that which manages that part of the mountain, and the overall directive, if it comes down to one word for that open space, is conservation. And oftentimes when conflicts happen up there, conservation will trump others. I can't attest to that always happening, but things with recreational use, closing and opening dates in the spring and fall, those sorts of things. So if you're interested in all, and our little Mount Jumbo right here, and those sorts of things, that advisory committee again meets at the University Center Monday. I'm hoping I'm right on saying 4, it could be 4:30 on May 8th. Monday. So I just wanted to give that as an announcement.
Well, I think we set a record for attendance, I think, including the 2 folks who came and spoke with us were at 100. So I don't think that's going to happen. Thanks for coming, and thanks for being interested. We passed them.
We did it.
We did it.
Unanimous.
We didn't wait yet for that, did we?
Marcia had a talk with Will.
She got it.
I got up this morning, I was like,